Welcome to Beach Garage. Today, like every day, I'm working on my KEI truck here in Southeast Asia. And I want to explain today what makes these KEI trucks, specifically this generation from the mid 80s to the 2000s, so special in my opinion, and even better than the newer versions. And something unique that I'm not sure there's another minivan that has all of these features in one unit. Let me explain. Now, this unit is a really special unit because it has turbo and it has all-wheel drive and it has EFI, which for this body type, the 5.1, was the one to have. They had other versions that were mostly carbureted and only rear-wheel drive. And of course, they had the mid-engine 4x4, which is also really cool. But this one is going to be the one that handles the best on the most variated roads. So this will be good on street, but it'll also be good on rougher roads, and you could even be a little bit off-road. But that's not where it lives. It lives on rough roads and street and inner city and in the mountains because of its gearing. And as you see, this thing has it looks like a buggy basically. The engine is forward of the rear axle like a Porsche engine. So it's beautiful weight distribution, just absolutely beautiful. The front suspension is really rugged, real strong components. However, they do use a McPherson strut, so that's more of a nimble performance, like automotive feature. So it has kind of like the handling of a car with the strength of a truck. That's the best way to explain it. And you see it has this overhang too, so it's super nimble. And especially the four-wheel drive, that's the one to have because it's almost a little bit too squirrely sometimes. And I wish the wheels were pushed out further, but it's okay. It's a unique feature that as you own it, you compensate for it. And then you have the radiator up front. And but let's talk a little bit more about the rear suspension. This is where this thing shines above its competition. So you see there's also a CV axle in the back here. So you see that the engine's forward, and you have the trans axle right there with the CV joints that come off of the gear case. And so this is independent suspension in the rear. So that's really one of its main features that stands above other KEI trucks, even the newer generation of its own kind. And I'm just so enamored with this vehicle because of its, excellent features for its time, very cutting edge. I believe that this is the one that they perfected. This is the one that the engineers were getting a kick out of, because this was the pioneering days of the KEI vehicles. And so basically, I think this is the one to have. And then ever since this generation, what they started to do was they started to industrialize and they started to specialize. And instead of making it the best that it can be and making it something that's a complete individual vehicle, what they did was they just basically, so I'll give you an example, they started putting, solid rear axles in the back. They put the engine forward, and they did all the things that make mass production of cars better rather than the actual performance and ownership. And so that's why I'm really glad to have this one. And I see the other ones on the road, and it just gives me a smile to know that if you got this 5.1, you have a better suspension, better handling. This engine is real gritty. It's a solid steel block. The newer ones are this has a F6A engine, which is a steel block. And the newer versions have an aluminum block, a K6A, with a timing chain, which has its benefits, of course. The newer version aluminum blocks have better heat handling, but they're not as durable. And also the timing chain is nice because it's more reliable as well. But the their performance of the overhead cam is better on this one. So there's trade-offs, and but if you ever are looking into getting a KEI minivan, just know that this is like 1985 to like 2000, this 5.1 style. This is a sleeper, and it's just so unique and so thrilling, and it's really got inspiring performance, and it's I love this thing, and I've rebuilt 2 of them already. This one's ready to go, and well, that's my video on why KEI trucks of the 5.1V era are so cool. Cheers.